what's up, guys? Sorry about being late. Sorry about being late. Let's see. What am I? I'm try and fix this. We there? I think we're here. Hey, what's up? So it's dark out. I was planning on broadcasting from a different spot outside because I've got a little bit of got a little cigar action. But you know, unfortunately, and this is also why I was late, there were there are some kids that are being a little bit of a pain today. So, anyway, that being said, hi, welcome. It's September 11th, and today we are supposed to hashtag never forget, which, I don't know. I don't even know what that means anymore. Because it's like never forgetting is not the same as like always remembering. It's just not forgetting. But the assumption is that you would forget. But the weird thing is, in a way, it seems like a lot of people have forgotten. Not like normal people, right? Not like us. Not like you guys. Um, we're normal. We're regular people. Some of us. If you didn't live through 9/11, it's pretty easy to not remember, right? That's a different thing. It's hard to believe it's 20 years ago. So some people weren't alive yet. Other people were barely conscious, and so they get a little bit of a pass. No, I didn't get a haircut. It's just dark, so you can't see. It's still way long. But those people get a pass. But it's not like you can really forget things like this, and not like you're prone to. So it becomes like a propaganda campaign. We've seen propaganda campaigns from other places, other times. Like somewhere around 30s and 40s, something happened that I don't really remember what that was, but I wasn't born yet, so I have an excuse, But there is a giant propaganda campaign around that. And in some ways, I agree. Because, you don't want to. The idea is you don't want history to repeat, right? But at the same time, you can't use things of the past to justify everything today. Here we go. We've got Kathy Zapp says they've lost patience with us. I think so. But I think we've lost patience with us. But here's the real thing. What are we supposed to never forget? That's what they don't ever say. They just say never forget. They don't say what though. And I think we've forgotten something. I was thinking about this today as I drove past the fire station, and they had a couple boom ladders up with a big American flag on it. And I was thinking about, the people say September 12th or whatever is the day that they want to remember what America was like. And but it wasn't just September 12th. It was September, all of it. It was 2001. It's a different time. Andrew Haskins has message retracted. Sorry. Hutch the Wolf says liberty loss and loss of liberty. Well, yes, that's true. ASO says, are you being tortured by Al Qaeda? Not yet. I need to get this cigar going though. So I brought my handy cigar lighter. You gotta light cigars properly. Anyway, so we've got what we lost is how our country is. God, it's so dark here. I might have to move a little bit. There's a couple places I could maybe get a little more light. If I go this way, maybe. Oh no! It's a catastrophe! All right. And if I do miss any super chats tonight, I'm sorry. I'm on the mobile phone, so it's kind of hard to keep up with them. I Hate Yankee says, do you think Osama was team balls or no balls? Oh, I think that guy had nuts in his mouth all the time. Neozed says, I used to think the Atlanta airport bombing is what changed everything. Wow, was I wrong. We finally got out of the endless war. Maybe we return home. Mandy Carvicia says, is this a live episode of Ghost Adventures in the Cricada? Yeah. We're here at the stately Ricada Manor, where all kinds of things go bump in the night. I'm Zach Bagans. And this is Ghost Adventures. Anyway. So, what we lost, though, to me, it wasn't even unity. Everything now is divided. Everything. Not that we were always together. Let's not romanticize the 2000s that much. Ginger Snap says you need a fire pit. I have one, just not by me. Let's not romanticize the 2000s that much. We weren't always together, but everything now is so vicious. And I think it started not with September 11th, but I think September 11th led to the start of it. I think it was more around 2004 that it really, really started to kick off. Once the Iraq and Afghanistan wars were going for a couple years, that's when things got really ugly. And it's been on a downward path ever since. Derek Bamanek says, building my first muzzle loader this week. I'll call you if I get into their miniature cannons as well. Nice. Mars Ultor says, we have squandered the legacy of 9/11. The right used it to pass the Patriot Act. Yes, we're going to get to that. The left used it to hate us more harder, and the rest of us went along with it. Yep. And the Patriot Act is one of the biggest shames of the American right, where we let neoconservative war hawks, who we should have unleashed upon Iraq, Afghanistan, whatever we needed to. We should have unleashed them outward. We allowed them to unleash inward. In a weird way, it was a lot like The Siege with Denzel Washington, which is a rather prophetic movie when you think of when it came out. They were almost right in how things would go in some ways, but mostly the horrific government response. They didn't do it with tanks, they did it with tech. And that's the scary thing. Tech isn't easy to make as scary, or it wasn't back when The Siege was out. It wasn't as easy to make tech scary as a tank, as tanks rolling through the streets, as soldiers with rifles. But we look at what Joe Biden's presidency started with. Razorfist tweeted out that picture earlier, just yesterday or the day before. And he said, remember, this is how Biden's presidency started. And it was Humvees and troops marching in Washington. And we've just gone there. We just went there. We said, okay, some muzzies attacked us 20 years ago. Now we forgive every single thing our government will do going forward. That's where it's been. Right or left, we let them run roughshod over our rights. We trample them. they trample them routinely. And the Patriot Act is one of the worst offenders. Gerardo Cantu says, remember Waco? Well, a bunch of people won't because they got cooked. They got cooked. But what is that? Is that uncivil? I saw. He says, uniting and strengthening America by providing appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism act. Oh gosh. USA Patriot. Jesus. Remember when Patriots were just a missile. Digitalis says that banging you heard over the scream of Nick's blowtorch were Ty Beard and Robert Burns' assholes slamming shut. What? Oh my goodness. What brand of cigars? It's a Nicaraguan cigar. Can I read it? Nope. It just says Nicaragua on it. I threw the other label around. I don't remember where it is. It's pretty good. Wait a minute. You're not supposed to light them with a lighter. You use a match. Look, if I'm going to light Nicaragua on fire, I'm using the beauty of propane. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. Any mosquitoes out? Not really. The subject at hand is we have given up. It's not really a loss, right? We have given up rights. We have given up liberty from 9/11 to today. We're never getting them back. They don't come back. The Patriot Act's dead. They failed to renew the Patriot Act under Trump. It died. Its legacy, its effects, its lasting impact will stay with us forever. They no longer needed the Patriot Act to accomplish the Patriot Act. Who's this? Mandy says, Nick R. Wagwa cigars. What do you think of Citizens United? It didn't go far enough. More money in politics, not less. Don't ever let a politician fool you into thinking that money in politics is bad. They're doing it for a very specific reason. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Did you guys have some of you fallen for the idea that Citizens United was a bad ruling because it put too much money in politics? No, Citizens United is only bad in that it didn't go far enough and open up your ability to give however much money you want to whomever you want in politics. It inherently favors incumbents with billions of dollars of free advertising through Fox, CNN, MSNBC. Look, if you're running against some random congressman, you can't get on to those channels without their permission. But if you are a congressman sitting in office, you can get onto those channels without any issue because you're a sitting congressman. Not to mention, your campaign window, your campaign funding window never ends. It never ends as a congressman. You can fundraise every single year that you're in power, and you can keep building your war chest. Whereas people who are running for office tend to not have more than about a year to maybe a 2-year window to fundraise for their election. How do you fight John Cornyn, who's been in the Republican Senate for 35 years? Do you know how much money he has? By the way, he also gets to control which Republican senator from the Republican Senate Finance Fund gets the money. How do you out fundraise him? Citizens United, money in politics is not the problem. There has to be money in politics. There always will be. The question is, do you have access to put however much you want in? Because the politicians in power will always have access to enough money. All of them will always have access. Before Citizens United, for example, let's say I have a friend running for Congress and I wanted to talk about him on my show. Well, there would be a limit to how much I could talk about. And believe me, The campaign contribution limits now are about $2,500 a person per year. How many streams do you think I could do about a politician promoting, what I thought if they should be in office? Someone I know, like they're going to run at the national level, and I'm like, hey, I can run some shows, and we can get you on, and you can say stuff. How fast do you think that $2,500 goes? It's a heartbeat. It's a heartbeat. It's 2 streams, 3 streams. How much is it? What would it cost? Tell you what, you want to pick and choose an entire 3-hour show of mine to dedicate an entire topic to, and you want to coax me into doing it. You're coming close to $2,500 already. My Raid Shadow Legends stream. My Raid Shadow Legends stream on Twitch. A 2-hour Raid Shadow Legends stream on Twitch, which is a sponsored stream. That cost them, in the end, $1,500. And that was a third of the audience that I would normally have. So, you're talking 2 streams? 2 streams? 3 streams, maybe? How do you compete with someone when I can provide them 3 streams of coverage, right? They can get news coverage. A sitting representative can get news coverage on CNN to 700,000 people. And that's not charged. Lady Racket's kicked him out. I'm actually sitting, this is Lady Racket's solitude spot when she needs some time. That's where I am, because I don't smoke cigars around the kids. So my point in this is that that's why Citizens United was the right ruling in the right direction, but it didn't go far enough. I fully believe if someone comes along and wants to put $1 billion into a candidate, go for it. Because don't vote for them. Right? If you don't trust the money in politics, but you know they're being funded, you know where the funding is coming from, you know how much money is being funneled into them, don't vote for them. Right now, we don't know where the money's coming from. We don't know how much dark money is going into candidates. But anyway, it's not, I didn't want to talk about Citizens United. Whoever brought that up, you're, shame on you. Dragon's Treasure says, where's your cup of tea to go with your cigar? I don't know. I didn't make a cup of tea. What tea would you recommend for going with the cigar? Oh, I do have that whiskey tea. Anyway. It's not supposed to be an entirely black pill stream. It's not. It's not. But we are here to talk about liberty. Because liberty started dying on a Republican watch. You can maybe trace the loss of liberty back prior to Bush, but I don't think so. Bad Dragonite says, Wasp. Master Blaster says, Happy National Jenga Day. I'm playing 2 games at the same time to celebrate. By the way, hold on. Sorry, I had a piece of popcorn stuck in my mouth. That was weird. By the way, 9/11 jokes are actually welcome here because I know that levity is used to process for many people. And And there is no such thing as too soon for a joke, and there is no such thing as an inappropriate joke. Jokes are always okay. They're always okay. If you don't like the joke, just don't like the joke. That's fine. But yes, I will say that the loss of liberty probably started. I mean, it started with FDR, or it started with Andrew Jackson, or it started with the popular election of senators, right? It started the moment. You're on camera. What's up, lady?
Me?
Yeah. I had to get some light. You gonna come say hi?
Well, I was going to have some cigar, but close enough.
Oh, you're gonna. Okay.
I'm going to break your ash. Whoa! Just kidding.
You have to say hi now.
I know.
I had to move where there was light coming in from the window.
I kind of wondered how you were going to do that because there really isn't light.
I could have maybe gone over there, but I didn't know if the internet would reach. Yeah. So, we're just talking about the loss of liberty starting from 9/11.
Yeah. So, one of our guests said, I don't know if he's going to listen, but I feel really bad about us being really loud, so he couldn't record over here. And I'm like, he'll listen. He's got a quick temper, but he loves big, and he forgives big.
So.
The non-sister.
Yeah, I got it.
Technically, she's a sister, but she doesn't have a sister here.
Yeah, I know. Wait, she doesn't? Are you sure she doesn't have a sister here?
True that. She doesn't have a sister who's going to sleep here.
That's okay. We have a whole bunch of kids over right now.
I'm a psychopath, and I let my 8-year-old invite a bunch of friends over for, like, a planned sleepover. Never done anything like that. Yeah, we've been doing lots of crafts. We went to a farm, played in some corn, got all dirty. Oh, they all need baths. For the love of Pete. All right, back to work.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I'm not helping. I can't. For most of them, except for my kids. Anyway, so we have 10 kids here right now. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, after that welcome interruption, the loss of liberty probably started somewhere before 9/11, but in my lifetime, and I'm going to be 40. Pastor Flash, yes, I'll be on Flashcast. I'll probably be a little late because I have to help get all these kids settled before I can pop on, but I will be joining Flashcast. I'm about 40. I'll be 40 in December. And it started with 9/11 in my lifetime, like really kicked off. And so that's where I go. That's why this day is something interesting to me. It was also a time when I was old enough to understand that liberty was going away, that our country was under attack, that our country then would go on to learn that our country was under attack from the inside for a very long time. And no, I'm not talking conspiracy theory here. I'm talking about just the genuine assault on liberty, the genuine assault on fellow countrymen. And we see echoes of that animosity that started really brewing 20 years ago. Bad Vibe says, Nick, the loss of liberty is a motivation to restore freedom. Magna Carta, Constitution, each has gotten better. Maybe the third time can secure individual freedom and autonomy. I am terrified to think of what those in power would come up with for a constitution today. Can you imagine what they would do? I don't want them. I don't want another document. We don't have a thinking class who could do it in the way that it was done. Whoops. I couldn't see the ash. Accidentally sucked in a little bit. God Emperor of Duncan says, after one plane hits one tower, it'll be too soon. Okay, that's a good 9/11 joke. But now it would look like the other the other bogus constitutions like South Africa's. It would look like a European constitution. Promises, promises, promises. Unfulfilled promises that you can't do. It would be communism or socialism, or this type of communism hasn't been tried yet. That's what it would be. It would be pronouns. It would be enshrining white inferiority into text, because they don't know how else to do it other than to say it over and over and over again. That's what it would be. And I'm not a white identitarian. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, it's never, race has never been an issue for me, ever. Bad Vibe says we need upheaval before a new try. Yeah, but that's like, I'm not out here worried about the quote unquote destruction of a particular group because of identitarian reasons. It's just because I don't want anything to be written down as anybody being superior or inferior to anyone. I don't think that's the purpose of a constitution, but that's what they would do today. Bad Dragonite says, if you're black, then why can't I see your smile only? My mustache covers my teeth. Matt Reviews says, hello from Australia. At least you had liberty at some point. We never really had it. They sold you. I feel so bad for Australia, man. They sold them the idea that they were free. Starting on 9/11, 2001 was when I first started seeing Europeans and stuff start to assert that they were as free as Americans. That's when I started to notice it. 9/11 was probably part of my political genesis, right? I was in college at the time. I was asleep, because I was always asleep. I was an EverQuest player. What are mornings? My dad called me. I'm laying in bed in my college dorm room, 4th floor of Shea New at Southwest State University. This is before it was Southwest Minnesota State University. So we were still SSU at the time. 4th floor, room 404, I think. A good room. It was a multiple unit, but it was just me in there. So I had tons of space. I was asleep. My phone rings. And rings and rings and rings. And I finally pick it up, and my dad says, is there gas in your car? Is your phone charged? We're under attack. This country is under attack. You need to be ready to move. And I'm like, Dad, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, why aren't you awake yet? I'm like, Dad, my classes start at 6 p.m. Why the hell am I going to be awake at 9 in the morning? Or 8, 9 in the morning, whatever it was. And he's like, get your ass up and turn on a TV. He's mad at me. He's mad. I have night classes. Leave me alone. He's mad at me. And he's like, get your ass up, turn on a TV. And then, what channel, Dad? Any channel. So I turn on the TV, of course. And that's when I see the towers burning and collapsing. I don't remember the exact times or timelines. It doesn't matter. I don't know if they had already collapsed and I'm watching a replay, or if I was watching it live. I don't remember. What I do remember was calling up my buddy, Scott, who was also on campus with me. And I was like, hey, man, the hell's happening? He's like, I don't know. So we went and we just went to the school building. All classes got canceled immediately because no one was going to them. So we went into the school building and we just walked around. Everybody was in a stunned shock. Every TV on campus, every student area was full of people watching TVs, all showing the same things, right? No one knew what was going on. It was this very surreal day of walking around. And that ended really quickly. Day or two of surrealism hit. And then it was the American machine kicked into action. And it was something that, if you weren't old enough to see it and know, it was something truly beautiful. Like, I can't... You can criticize Bush for a lot. And make no mistake, a lot of this was self-centered for him. It was very advantageous and opportunist. He's a neocon. He's a scumbag in a lot of ways. Don't mistake things. But what he did was brilliant in a real weird way. And he gets criticized for his actual brilliant things. He said, go out, go shopping, right? Like go return to normal as fast as possible. Contrast that with 2020. Go be America. They attacked our idea. They attacked our identity. They attacked who we are. That's what they knocked down in the buildings. That's the message, right? So go be American. They hate consumerism. They hate individualism. They hate the fact that we have the freedom to speak and unite and talk and walk together. So go do it. That was 9/12. I mean, it was technically, about a month that kicked off into that as things really started going. But contrast that with today. Don't be American. Don't talk to other people. Stay away. Stay home. Don't go out shopping. Don't do anything like that. Consumerism can wait. That's all falsehoods. No, it isn't. That's who we are. We built the right to be consumerists. If you watched the show last night, I was talking to Ty. I said, I don't justify things anymore. Like if I'm going to buy something that I want, I just do it. I get my thing. I don't have to apologize or explain. It's like, this is my thing. Fuck off. I've worked my butt off to get to the ability to do this. And if I could do it with Lamborghinis, I would, but I can't yet. Maybe someday. I don't need to apologize anymore. And that's the America that I grew up in. We were, as a country, didn't need to apologize for who we are. Now we're supposed to apologize for everything we do. WZRBS says, feeling kind of black-pilled these days, Nick. Show me the way rackets. I am right now. Mandy says, why did they attack on 9/11? Should have done it on 7/11 instead. Would have made more sense. I don't know why they picked the day. I'm sure there's some symbolic reason that's stupid. Joe Schmo says, why were you worried? There's zero chance of Bush doing that to a flyover state. I wasn't so worried. I wasn't worried. My dad is a very cautious person. We get to the airport like 3 hours early. When you're traveling with my dad, you're going to be at the airport early. He's anxious about stuff like that. He's a worrier. It's his job to make sure everything gets done. So that's what he was concerned about. I was a couple hours from home, and he's like, can you right now get in your car and get home? If you had to leave everything, could you get to us so we could do whatever we need to do to be safe, right? That was the idea that he was calling me with. But when you think about the brilliance of what Bush did, first of all, it started the repair process for the economy following 9/11. There was a big hit. There was a big hit, and but it started the repairs right away. It got people away from fear as fast as possible, and most importantly, it was the most interesting thing to see, in my opinion. There were American flags everywhere, and I mean everywhere. They were handing them out. They were handing them out in sheets, like just printed American flags for people to put on a window. They were handing out little flags that you could just plant in the ground. There were flags everywhere. Everybody remembered that we were Americans for a little bit, and that what we built was good and right. There were the screeching liberals, of course, but Twitter didn't exist. So they barely existed. Their existence wasn't validated by anyone yet. You had to go deep into the bowels of a college campus where those people would meet in a dark room and be like, yeah, we fucking deserved it. We fucking deserved it. Now read my poems. They'll tell us all about imperialism and what went wrong. Please read my poems. I've sold one book. I printed off 9,000. Please read them. That's where you had to go to find the Twitterati in 2001. They weren't out there. They didn't have validity. They couldn't sabotage this country and these people at every step that they have, every opportunity. They couldn't do it. My motion light keeps going off behind me. Waiting for the feds. Do you have your shot, citizen? Let me sniff you. We've lost that. We've lost that identity. We've lost that spirit and the grit that makes America America. And I hate to say it, because like we've got this propaganda campaign against consumerism and our materialistic lifestyle and all that, but fuck the propaganda. That's what we built. We're the best at it. We're so good at everything that we've done for our lives that we can just sit around and shop for meaningless shit in a dollar aisle because the bread will not run out. The electricity will work tomorrow. That's America. But it doesn't feel that way anymore. Selwyn says, I was on the way to my carpool to take me to kindergarten. I remember exactly where I was, but I was too young to know what was happening. I'm 25 now. The weirdest pill I ever had to take is I was teaching Bible study, right? Before YouTube, I was teaching Sunday school to teenagers, and I was like, where were you on 9/11? And the kids are like, in a crib. I was like, oh God, I forgot. You're all 8. Eric Becky says, I was in high school. I came out of my room and asked my dad what movie he was watching as I saw the smoking tower. He replied, the news. I was speechless. The second tower was struck in class. The Denialist says, hearing those words, be American, just makes me remember what we lost. It makes me leak freedom from my eyes. Wipe your freedom away with a flag and then fly it. You know, there's a lot to be pissed off about today, but just because Americans have forgotten what America is doesn't mean you have to. Robin H says, well, as one judge said to the other, be just, and if you can't be just, be arbitrary. Regret cannot observe customary obscenities. William Burroughs. Base Crocodile says, U.S. did 9/11, Americans worship the government on 9/11, lol. Yeah, some people think that. Galeron Runner says, and remember what the writer of the new Superman movie said on 9/11. Yep, said we deserved it. It's what, Ta-Nehisi Coates or whatever? Or is it Tariq? Who is it? Is it Ta-Nehisi Coates? Shit. I talked too long. We got to reignite. Ta-Nehisi, whatever his name is. Hassan Piker. Yeah. Yeah, he should crawl back up inside of Chenk's womb. The scariest thing about what's going on today is that the left is effectively convincing the right to hate America as much as the left does. Base Crocodile says, imagine worshiping the state that kills its own. It's not the state that you worship. It's the people and the principles, man. No one important says, but remember, Nick, 1/6 is greater than 9/11. Oh yeah. She should that chick, Pam, whatever, Esquire, allegedly a lawyer, should be twin towered. Adrian Barrera says, I've always lived in a post 9/11 world. I was born a year after. It's something different, man. It's really different. Plane travel is the quickest way to see it. It looked nothing like this. Burning Sirius says, how has 9/11 weakened religious liberty? I'm really concerned what is coming down the road. I'm a pastor and my wife is a lawyer. She is the only YouTuber she enjoys listening to with me. Wait, your wife is a lawyer and she is the only YouTuber she enjoys listening to you? She tagged me. Do you mean she or me? I would be surprised if it was me, but it was worded weirdly. Dripping Not So Handsome Jack says, one of these days, Nick, you're going to singe that fuzz. Alvin John says, you're going to take views from Flashcast. Nope, I'm going to end. I'm going to end when Flashcast starts, which is coming up. Dan Platt says, not going to lie, sold a lot of cell phones after 9/11 by saying you don't want to be like those heroes who called their family before they crashed. Or don't you want to be like those heroes who called their family before they crashed? Oh my God. Leapshin Talk says, we don't hate America. We hate our government and media. Yes. I love people, Americans. I just hate how the evil and corrupt get to be our sponsors, making us all look bad. Exactly. Exactly. Flashcast is over on Tug's channel, by the way, tonight, and I will be there. Base Crocodile says, I'm 18. I spent all day memeing it. You should meme, joke. It's okay. It's okay to joke. There's nothing too sacred. Theophrastus says, it now turns out that Biden's drone strike killed an aid worker and some kids. You know, Biden pressured the military to strike anyone and quickly murder. He learned it from watching Obama. Yeah, Tug's channel is where Flashcast is. That umbrella guy. It's going to be me, him, just some guy. Not sure who else. Can we joke now? Always. Always joke. You hope I'm going to rant on Vito about Flashcast? You may want to tune into the Dick Show this week. You may want to tune into the Dick Show this week. I'm overdue for a call-in. Jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams, but the fire does. The Dick Show. It's called The Dick Show. Dick Masterson. He's got a co-host named Vito. And Vito did a lot of damage, I think, to Dick's brand yesterday. If you didn't see, Alex Jones was on Friday Night Tights. Huge get. They had a huge show, over 16,000 people watching. I skipped your chat. Yeah, Gummy, what did it say? Tag me. I'll try and grab it. No Pony Special says, I will never forget 9/11 because it's my birthday. I was 14 20 years ago. Yeah, and then Vito was trying to snitch on Nerdrotic to YouTube because Alex Jones was talking about vaccines. What a fucking coward. The Knowledge says, thanks, Nick. Really needed this tonight. Yeah, I didn't know what to do. I wanted to go. By the way, Legal Bites invited me on her show this morning, and I really wanted to be there. But I had all these kids, and we were out doing activities. I just couldn't make it. John Taylor says, what about Hollywood censorship after 9/11, like removing the Twin Towers from media? Any opinions, Nick? Actually, it really pissed me off. Bodies was taken off the radio by Drowning Pool, and I was kind of into that type of music a lot at the time. I liked Drowning Pool. I liked the song. Also, they got rid of Trey Parker and Matt Stone's brilliant show, That's My Bush, which was phenomenal, but it was seen as disrespectful. That censorship stuff was fucking garbage. That was garbage. Kalinka Pavlova says, for some reason we had a school assembly on the TAC and they didn't explain shit to us. The whole thing ruined my morning classrooms. Cartoons. Cartoons or classrooms? Morning cartoons. Rip freedom. Yeah. WZRBS says, last super chat was poorly timed. I'm about your age. I got what I wanted. Thanks, man. Almond John 1 says, you have any thoughts about Agenda 2030? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Planet Tuber says, I have a fun creature calling me a fascist developer on my Steam store page after super chatting you about my video game. I was doing my job monitoring local fascist grifters on social media. 10 out of 10 would fascist again. Grimturd. Lakeville, Minnesota. Wait, you're from Lakeville too? Your earlier stream about government is now God. Create a godless society. People will accept government as God. Like oikophobia, an aversion to a home environment, an abnormal fear of one's home. Yes. Yes. Oh, that's cool. You're from Lakeville, man. How old are you? Have we met? Base Crocodile says Gen Z's 9/11 was March 2020 when schools closed. Trumpicana says, Nick, did you know Drowning Pool was a Christian rock band? Really? Bodies, that song, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor? Yes. Yes, it was. I remember the follow-up. The follow-up to 9/11 for me was, I was a big EverQuest player at the time, and it was making sure all of our people who lived in New York were okay. Some of them didn't respond for a while for whatever reason. They couldn't. And so we didn't know. It was really, that was kind of tough. WMMA Scene now says Predator is on Vice channel right now. I'm amazed they let that much testosterone on their channel at once. Oh, Agenda 2030 is the Great Reset. I haven't really read up on it, but it kind of seems like what's going on. Burning Sirius says she enjoys listening to you, lol. I'm terrible at typing. Oh, good. I was like, wait, does she have a show? Because that would be kind of funny if she had a show and you guys watched it together. That'd be cute. Ace Brain says, I was 12 on 9/11. When the first tower was hit, I remember thinking, aren't those the buildings from that one Simpsons episode? How could the pilot be so dumb to accidentally fly into it? When the second tower was hit, I knew something wasn't right. Crazy times. Yeah, same thing. Same thing. When the second tower got hit, it was like, uh-oh. I remember being so shocked at how it looked. You never see a plane hit a building, right? And it just went into the building and didn't really come out. I mean, an explosion did and pieces did, but just went in, the building was still there. So strange. So wild to see that. And I remember, because we had just seen in The Matrix, right? That helicopter hit the building. And this actually became like a kind of a profound moment for me watching The Matrix. Do you remember? You probably do, right? The helicopter in The Matrix hits the building and the building ripples before it breaks. It's like The Matrix glitched. It didn't know what to do with that type of thing. And that's what I felt like watching the planes hit, just a mere 2 years later. It's like my brain doesn't know how to process what I'm seeing. ARC5 says, don't worry, honey, I'll get Ahmed and his 8 friends to the airport in time for the flight. And by God, what the hell is that noise? Oh, no. Oh, no. The fourth Matrix, I'm not excited for. I watched the preview and I was like, I don't know. I think it's dead to me. Dominals 1989 says, not to make things political. Oh, everything's political. It's okay. Being reminded of the horror that day highlights how crazy things are now. To hear people say January 6th is just as bad or even worse. Those are disingenuous grifters and they should be shot in the street. Not for their opinions, but for their stupidity. Rogue says, I was in my elementary at the time when 9/11 happened. All I remember was that everyone was still listening to the intercom while I continued to play. Malik says, my aunt actually worked in the World Trade Center when the plane hit. Just happened to take the day off sick. God's blessings. ASO says, torrenting prevents censorship. Use VPNs, though. Use VPNs. Use Tor. Guys, I didn't talk about this. Did you see that Proton Mail's been tracking IPs and gives them up to government? Proton Mail. The secure email. The secure email. Nope. You pay for the security. Uncivil, did that one miss you? They gave up all the IP addresses to the French government. A dissident about, of all things, COVID, I believe. Lopro says, I was 10 when 9/11 happened. My dad was scheduled for a meeting at the Pentagon that week, but luckily not that day. Joined the Marine Infantry at 17 because I was still pissed. It's been a bad month. No kidding. Yeah, two major security software people. Surfshark can catch fire for all I care after what they did to Andy No, idiots. And then Proton Mail. Yep. Kevin Dorr says, so glad GWB could take time out of his speech to urge the deep state police state to go after people who most likely voted for him twice. He sucks. Intimidator says 9/11 is the reason why I tried joining the National Guard a second time after the first try didn't work because they were full. But on December 6th, a day before the anniversary of the Pearl Harbor attack, I raised my right hand almost 20 years ago. I almost enlisted. But I didn't. Ghost of WV House of Delegates Charlie Lloyd says, do we need democracy or government if we have liberty? We don't need democracy. Democracy is tyranny of the majority. Democracy is, I said, the only system worse than communism is direct democracy. Voice of a Free America says, how do we call for an Article 5 convention? It's in the Constitution. I don't remember, but that's how. You got to get the states. The states have to do it. Luna and unfortunately, senators are now popularly elected and have been for a long time. I don't think they ever should have been. I still think they should be elected by state legislatures. Luna LaFay says, I was in 4th grade when it happened. I didn't know what was going on due to I was late to school. My dad was flying back from Korea and had 2 Black Hawk jets flying beside him. He didn't know why until he landed. The Iron Omega says, messed up thing, Nick. The hijackers came to my store the day before it went down. They stopped to get beer before going to the local strip club. Jeez. Ollie, what did Surfshark do? They took an Antifa activist lie about Andy No, saying that Andy No was harassing him because Andy No reported that the other guy got served a restraining order. And then they stopped their sponsorship of Andy No based on that. No research. They just instant gone. And Antifa said it, therefore it must be true. They're on, and then they have no apology about it either. Even though the guy took down his tweet and they've been called out like crazy. Everybody should cancel Surfshark. I don't use them anyway, but everybody should. Duron 19 says, I turned 11 on 9/11. Well, happy birthday to you. Linda Marie says, at least we offered Osama bin Laden like the dog he was, so he can rot in hell's version of 7-Eleven for all time. I'll never forget those who died. And we got to wrap up, guys, because Flashcast is probably starting, and I don't want to step on that. Oh, I like that. Oh, yeah. 7 minutes. So I'm going to finish reading these super chats. We're gonna wrap up. But go to Flashcast. Go to Tug's channel. Watch Flashcast tonight. I'll be on it. It might take me an hour to get over there, but I will be. Damen Hall says, what's your ideal government? A representative republic is, I think, the current ideal government. I still believe that the system is the better system that's out there. But we're shredding that. We're shredding what we had. And that was the thing. What government do we have? And I think, wasn't it Ben Franklin who said, we've given you a republic if you can keep it. We did for a long time. Mike Mysterio says, I was in 6th grade when it happened. My dad was supposed to be on a business trip that day flying out of JFK. All the school told me was, your dad is okay. Base Crocodile says, airport security for Americans, but not for Kabul. Mike Mysterio says, you should do a stream with Ty on how to be a good man, godly man in current year. I'm going to be doing a lot of those. I know I've said this. They're going to be on locals, at least to start, exclusive for a while, but it'll be how to be a good man in general from all kinds of different men. Interviews with different men with different views, but on one aspect of manhood. Kumatora says, remember, democracy never lasts long. It soon wastes, exhausts, and murders itself. There never was a democracy yet that did not commit suicide. John Adams. Good quote. Another one man says, I was 5 to 6 when it happened. Everyone in the school was called into the gym for assembly, then let out early. I spent the rest of the day glued to the TV. God used it to develop a sense of important moments in history. Same sense kicked in 2020 riots. JP Gotro K Kits says, I don't know what that means. Got Rock Kits. Got rockets. JP got rockets. I left New York a year before the event. A year before, there had been a fire in one of the rooftop elevator machine rooms I saw from where I worked. When my stepmom told me the tower was on fire, I thought it might be something similar until I saw a TV. New Yorkers all kind of have their unique take, man, because it hit them, but it rippled to all of us. Deef says, Canadians were there for you on 9/11. Millions of Canadians will stand by our American brethren to the very end. Long live the cause of freedom. I know there's good Canadians, man. It sucks. It sucks that your representatives suck as bad as ours. The Kiefer 522 says, not to be black-pilled with this question, but does this all amount to war in the civil sense? It at times seems like it's pointing there. It at times seems like it's already there. I've been saying we've been in a civil Cold War for about 4 or 5 years now because I believe it. And if we get into a hot civil war, it won't look like 1860. It'll look like 2020 ramped up. And I mean the parts where they went, oh, that's a Trump guy, and shot him in the face in, where was that, Portland or Seattle? That's what the Civil War will look like when it comes. Because the factions aren't the Mason-Dixon line anymore. It's literally your neighbors. It's terrifying. Toxia says, 8th grade for me, my mom was rightfully freaked out. I asked my English teacher why she was so calm. She didn't know. She berated me for making up such awful lies. Never apologized for it. Hey, Lion. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. That light up was Lion. All right, guys. I gotta wrap up. We got a couple more here. Ghost of West Virginia House of Delegates. Charlie Lloyd says, keep up the good work, Nick. Thanks, brother. I will. I hope you guys like these impromptu streams. I'm going to try and, on days where I don't stream, weekends and stuff, I'll try and throw these up where we can just have chats from time to time because I like doing them. And I found a new tripod for my phone that helps. Lamer says, I was 6 and had a teacher's workshop, student day off, came back inside when CNN was talking about on heading towards the White House. One heading towards the White House. Back when entertainment was gold, says, my dad knew a nurse that had her brother-in-law die in Flight 175. Very sad. And that's it. All right, guys. Lions, he ran off already. I can't get him. Thanks for joining me tonight, guys. Thanks for hanging out on this day. It is, in a weird way, it is a sacred day for the United States because of a whole bunch of different reasons. For me, it'll always be the time when I started to see politics more for what they were and the time when I started seeing freedom die. So hopefully we can turn the tide on that. But I don't know how. We got to keep talking. That's the main thing we got to do. Is keep talking. Don't ever let them stop you from talking. That's the First Amendment for a reason. All right, guys. Catch you guys on Flashcast in a little bit when I get over there. Go whine at them in the chat and tell them I'll be coming. I'll send Tug a message that I'll be there as soon as I can. All right, guys. Peace.